Okay, guys, hear my voice. All right, we just finished with going over section 1.1 of chapter 1 and section 1.2. 1.1 was just talking about definitions and processes, science, technology, scientific models, testers, all basically with the nature of science, okay? Section 2 had one specific thing talking about conversions, right? And I wanted to make this a little short video, even though I talked about it, so you could refer back to it here while you're working on it on your own, and have that luxury of just, rewatching the little YouTube video, okay? So one of the things is we're gonna practice the way you do it when it's always just going in the metric system. Hopefully you recognize the meter as the base unit, 1 unit, and as you go to the left or to the right, you go up in base tens. The metric system works on base tens. This should be all review, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page before I also show you another way, okay, for the way we're going to do conversions when it's not only the metric, because this is an easy foolproof way of just moving the decimal point left or right to the places, and that's fine and dandy. But what happens when you have a unit that's not within the metric system, like kilometers to meters, like this one, but all of a sudden you have meters and you got to change that into inches or feet, and it's not a base 10 metric system conversion, okay? Then you have to try and use a different approach, okay? So first things first, we're just going to go with what we should know. So on this first little worksheet that I gave you, and it's in your docs, okay, that you'll be working on, it's just 20 practice problems with practicing, like I said, just converting the metric system. So i.e. example, if I had 1,232 kilometers, the arrow tells you I'm converting it to another unit. Let's say I'm converting it to decimeters, or even at the top of your worksheet, it has, okay, a little scale here just like this one, all right? And I'm converting it to decimeters, all right? I'm going to have to go from here, this unit here, all the way to here, okay? So, first things first, you write the number itself, the whole number, 1,232. If you want to put a decimal point right there as a reference point, that's perfectly fine. That's still 1,232. It does not change the value, okay? What we're going to do now is from that reference point, which is this is the same number as that, right? Everybody agrees, is now we're going to move the decimal in accordance to, is the number going to get bigger or smaller? So think about this. If this takes 1,000, this is 1,000 over 1, 1,000 units, and this is 1/10, this is a really big unit, okay? So that means everything behind it, it takes a lot more of the littler units to make one of those. So in your mind, you should also be saying the number's going to get bigger. My answer is going to get bigger. So I've got to move 1, 2, 3, 4 places, okay? I'm moving my 0 4 places to the right. If I'm going from left to right, I also move my decimal point left to right. So right here, I'm gonna make 4 little loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And each one of those loops is a value of 0. 2, 3, 4. So now that number converts to, and I can take this off, all right? 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Now, what this is saying is 1,232 kilometers converted to decimeters is equivalent to, dm is decimeters, the unit for that, is you have now 12,320,000 decimeters. That's a massive number. Just because the number is bigger doesn't make the problem harder, okay? So all I did, once again, is right here, I had kilometers, okay? And I'm converting it to decimeters, right? So I started over here, okay? And sometimes you get a little piece of scratch paper and doing this, if you can do it in your head, great, but there's nothing wrong with just doing it in a simple conversion going left to right by seeing how many places you moved. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So that means I went 4 places to the left, so I'm going to start right like I did here, and I went 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill in those zeros, and that's where I got 12,320,000 decimeters. Don't forget to put your unit next to your value, okay? Because that is important. You can't leave off the unit of measurement, 12,320,000 what, okay? Well, I was going from this to this, okay? So that's why I put decimeters, okay? That's one problem, all right? Erase this, my scribblage. That's a word, okay? Because you have this on video, which makes it easy, all right? So we'll do another one. So let's take meters. Let's say I got 32 meters, this one right here, okay? And I'm converting that. I need to know 32 meters is equal to how many kilometers, km, okay? So, first things first, like I said, you can write your whole number here again, 32. I like to put decimal, just make sure, always make sure I'm starting in the same spot, okay? So now I'm here. And you go to kilometers, it's over there, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be moving it 3 places. Now, I went from right to left, so same thing here. I'm going to move my decimal point from right to left, 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Decimal point, put in the 0. So the answer is 0.032 kilometers. And what this is saying is 32 kilometers is the same as 32 meters is the same as saying 0.03 kilometers, okay? I just moved the decimal. Now, this is the way you've learned for a real long time, and I just want to start with the basics. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with moving the decimal point left to right when you're in the metric system. But on Friday, when we get together, we're going to take these same problems and we're going to work on a conversion method that is you're going to have to use all the time or have that go-to, because not always are you going to be converting within the metric system where you can move it in base tens, move the decimal point and add zeros left and right, okay? So we're going to take one thing at a time. Let's make sure and master this first and get our brains rolling with this on this conversion sheet, okay? And then what we'll do is we'll take these, we'll go over these on Friday. Okay, we'll check the answers, make sure everything's good, all right? I'll even give you the answers to the chapter 1 concept review, make sure we're good on that. You can check your answers even though you've submitted them, okay? And I'll post those and make sure everything's okay, all right? So like I said, first thing, this is just going to be no different if you're sitting in front of me and you have this visual notes if this doesn't come to you on moving the decimal points left to right or right to left, okay? That's basic 101. But on Friday, we're going to work on the conversion where we have to be able to convert, whether it's metric to metric or in other terms, when we're taking other units of measurement that are not on the same scale, but we have to find out their equivalent or what are they equal to, like say inches to feet or miles to kilometers or something of that nature, which are different units of measurement, not all in the metric system, okay? All right, so you can use this as a review for the problems today that I've already talked to you in Google Meet, and then you just finish watching this, but you can always go back and refer to back and forth, okay? So if you have any questions, obviously, email me, let me know, or have those for class on Friday, okay? But we're just gonna start simple here and make sure that we're just simple, remembering how to move the decimal point left to right and right to left. Remember, if it's a smaller value and I'm going to a bigger value, the decimal point is gonna go the same direction left. So the number is gonna get smaller. Notice this is a much smaller number, 0.032 than 32, okay? But if I was going the other way, right, I would get a lot of zeros. So if I would have said I was going 32 kilometers, okay, let's say I was doing it that way, 32 kilometers, and I was going to meters. So I would be going here, if I'm 32 kilometers, I'm going the other way, 1, 2, 3, I'd have 32, and I went to the left, I'd move it in 3 places, 1, 2, 3. So that would be, if I converted it the other way, and I went kilometers, if I had 32 kilometers, and I was going to meters, now I have 32,000 meters, okay? So I showed you both directions with that, okay? So we're gonna dabble with that, and should be no problems, but if there is, obviously, tomorrow and Wednesday, There's no official class, but it's time for you to work on homework, work on this stuff. But I'm sitting here in the classroom if you need any help. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow.